Delegate of Iraq, you'll be granted 10 seconds, after which delegate of Switzerland, you'll be granted 10 seconds. Delegate of Germany, is that a right reply? Delegates, please be seated. I will entertain statements after the delegates have finished their right replies.
We are live.
Delegate to the House. Senior of the nation USA believes that the nation of Iraq being debt back in 2012 would mean that we are still in that formula tertiary sector within the nation of Iraq right now is slightly concerning the investment. The nation of Iraq has in fact adopted a comprehensive national strategy of higher education, which is for the period of 2012 to 2022, which we have addressed this issue, and we are not in such debt, and the nation of Iraq needs the nation of Iraq
Your opinion?
Switzerland, evidence.
Same time, studies show that US debt will reach 17 trillion by 2030.
Delegate of Romania, you are Honduras. State of Honduras. Delegate, it was a factual error that the delegate of Iraq pointed out, and delegates, the head table was asked for a right reply based on a factual error, and it was granted on a factual error, not on a violation or infringement of sovereignty. The delegate of USA, you'll be given the last statement after all nations have finished their statements. If you make statements, please raise your cards. Delegate of Germany. Delegates, you all have 15 seconds, make it brief and concise.
Delegates of the House, with regards to free tertiary education, it is funded in the nation of Germany. It is funded by government. The revenue that the fund is coming from the income tax revenue delegate. The debt, in fact, is caused to the individuals. In developing nations, it caused to the individuals to take free tertiary education because they are unable to pay back the high tax amount in other cases.
Delegate of Argentina, you'll be granted 15 seconds.
And delegates, this delegates have been in Delhi for from 2002, and delegates, we are tertiary education delegates. Delegates should understand this. Providing free tertiary education is a long-term solution for unemployment delegate. So that's why delegates countries still providing free tertiary education delegate. Thank you very much.
Delegates of China, you'll be granted 15 seconds. Delegates of China, your last personal statement.
Firstly, delegates simply accusing the nation of USA won't get us anywhere. Looking towards the education sector, education side of this, with regards to tertiary education, looking towards the use of trustees. Now, trustees are essentially what you can use in order to ensure that there's proper education given towards these students, and in order to ensure that these funds are properly used instead of going to debt and other crises. Thank you.
Delegate. And delegate of Romania, you'll be granted 15 seconds.
Delegates, when we regard the issue of the US policy on its debt and well as the solutions provided by the nation of China, through the delegate does understand that these are all made on accusations, and as the UNESCO, when we provide solutions, so a feasible solution would be to actually implement such things such as the income tax, which is already implemented in several legislations around the world, which can actually be used to compensate for such debts. Thank you.
Points noted. Delegate of USA, you all be granted 1 minute to reply to all these delegates. Which will delegates debate and move on to another monitor call.
Honorable delegates, thank you all for your statements. Firstly, delegates, the delegation of USA completely agrees with the delegate of China in the respect that this has no relevance to exactly the solutions we could provide for education. But in fact, with regards to the delegate of Argentina and the statements brought up, this situation was in fact due to mismanagement of sovereign bond buying. Therefore, it is absolutely. Thank you, delegates, and we wish you would actually bring out proper solutions to this. And in fact, national debt does not have any relevance, and we are wasting time. Thank you.
Delegates. All motions denied. Delegates.
Point of parliamentary.
State point delegate.
Could delegates have them make a speech or just a small solution, a very valid solution to this, the former one?
Denied delegates will be moving on to the discussion of further moderated caucus topics, and the delegates will be granted to make statements in that.
Delegate, we have another moderated caucus topic proposed by the delegate of New Zealand. This topic reads, discussing the importance of the collaboration of private organization with government to fund technology in schools. I repeat, discussing the importance of the collaboration of private organizations with governments to fund technology in schools. Delegate of New Zealand, you have 20 seconds to justify your topic.
Delegates of the House. Delegates of the House. Technologies needed to meet modern demands and increase the interest of students, making them keen to learn. However, government may find it difficult to handle the pressure of sole funding, and thus private profit-making organizations can assist in funding using increasing the standard of schools and improvement in education if they are willing to do so, as it benefits the economy in the future.
Thank you, Delegate. Are there any seconds to this motion? Delegate Plano. Are there any objections? Seeing none, this motion passes. Once again, delegate the possible.
Delegates, this is just an announcement. There are two stalls outside in the committee lounge. One is done by official education partner, and the other one is done by RR Gallery. So please visit the stalls during.
Delegates to get back in comment session. Delegate of New Zealand, please sit. Granted delegate by default, you now have the speech.
Delegates, although organizations, some may see these types of no motivation to fund, and it will act as a suitable incentive for them to fund education, and they have sufficient funds, unlike the government who has to spend funds on other government expenditures such as improving infrastructure, to the public healthcare and stuff and so on. So, private sector organizations will act sufficiently to improve education.
Are there any other speeches on the floor?
Delegate of Hungary, you open your eyes. Delegates, when looking at collaboration of private organizations with governments in providing technology, this could be done as a part of these private organizations' CSR projects.
Now, delegates, the government of Morocco in 2013 actually adopted a strategy to collaborate with private organizations and provide technology to schools, honorable delegates. So this is actually very feasible. But what we have to understand is that we have to make some look out to actually realize that these funds are not used and actually used for the right purpose, honorable delegates.
Furthermore, dear delegates, what we must understand is private organizations have enough fundings and they are very successful due to the competitive nature that exists within the economy.
Thank you, Delegate. Please
So they have
Thank you, Delegate. Are there any other speeches on the floor? Delegate of Romania. State your point. Yeah. Are there any other speeches on the floor? Delegate of Russia to open the rise. Granted, Delegate.
With the proud permission of the head table and the delegates of the House, the delegates, what you must understand is, when taking these private organizations are actually specialized in one specific area. So we can ensure that these private organizations carry out this distribution of technology to the maximum efficiency. Further, taking the nation of Russia itself, the nation of Russia has the World Wide, which is a private organization which is founded by businessmen, where children are not only given technology, they are also taught how to use this technology and incorporate.
Thank you, Delegate. Is any speech? Are there any other speeches on the floor? Delegate. Delegate USA to open the rise. Thank you, Delegate.
Now, delegates are looking at this kind of investment where most leaders are in developing nations where they don't even have a proper basic education system. So, in those kind of areas, there's a question of government. So, what the United States would advise is for these private organizations to carry out these projects like the Delegate Hungary mentioned as a CSR, but with the assistance of government. Or in place, we would have a checks and balances system where they ensure that this actually gone into schools and this money has gone into the education system, for example, by donating technological devices to integrate the modern aspect into the education system.
Thank you, Vivek. One last speech will be assigned for this topic. Are there any more speeches? Delegate will be round on the rise.
This delegate of Iran believes that collaborating private organizations with the government to fund technology in school will be is a feasible solution to improve the quality of the education, which the delegate believes that by increasing the resources, yeah, the quality of education will be more improved and
Delegates. Speeches.
Which discussing the urgency to improve the quality of education to reduce brain drain.
Fellow delegates, in many countries, due to the lack of education, many students prefer to go to do their tertiary education. So this is the main cause of brain drain. So this delegate feels that discussing efficient methods would be very useful for other countries.
And reduce brain drain. Adding on to these points, one of the other things could be by
bringing in international examination boards like Pearson and Excel and Cambridge into developing countries like Zimbabwe to increase the quality of education. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Are there any other speeches on the floor? Also, Delegate, I received Delegate. Are there any other speeches on the floor? Delegate Denmark to oppose your raise. Granted, Delegate.
Delegates, we see that brain drain is a problem that has been that is a very important, that is a very known problem when it comes to education. And by improving the quality of education, most of the students who learn to remain in the country rather than going abroad for their education. As means of improving the quality of education, as a delegate of Zimbabwe nation, coordinate with international organizations, and furthermore, I suggest that business learning education methods can be deployed.
Thank you, Delegate. Are there any other speeches? Delegate Morocco to open yours? Take a point.
Earlier that would come as a part of parliamentary inquiry. However, that question could be directed at the head table, and if the head table wishes to answer, we will do so. Candidate Earlier Morocco, please state his question.
How does the delegates of Zimbabwe suggest to the delegates of Zimbabwe please elaborate how they suggest that they improve technology while reducing brain drain? Because in order to improve technology, children would need to learn to.
Delegate, first of all, that would not come under a question pertaining to the topic right now because that could be addressed in the delegate speech. Secondly, guys, we're making an informal session for just 1 minute. Guys, first of all, give us solutions in your topics because at the end of the day, all we need is solutions, right? We all know that y'all understand the issue and y'all address the issue. Y'all keep on repeating and waste up to 15 to 30 seconds acknowledging the issue. We all know that there is an issue. We want the different solutions that countries provide and y'all can argue on which solution is better. That's what the head table is looking for. We all know the problems are there, but we want you all to debate on the better solution. And that is the point of debate that we are looking for. So with that being said, for those who actually don't know what brain drain is, I'll give you a small example. When we consider a country like Sri Lanka, the country which we live in, right? We are a country which provides free education to our students, and when our students study in Sri Lanka and they pass they pass their A-levels with proper and good results, right? They can get good offers in other countries. They go to other countries and start working there after getting all the information and studying from Sri Lanka. Using Sri Lanka's, they go to another country just because the salary is high there. And this is called brain drain because at the end of the day, Sri Lanka do not have qualified or professional people, and the other countries have people who will come and work for them for a cheaper price and who are better or who are professionals. And this is kind of a pertinent issue that's being faced by a lot of countries today. So this is called brain drain. And with that being said, I guess we'll be moving back into session. Please take into account of what brain drain is and address this in your speeches. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other speeches on the floor? Delegate Kuwait to oppose your raise. Granted, Delegate.
With the prior permission from the head table and my fellow delegates of this team house. First of all, I would like to commend the delegate of Zimbabwe to bring out this solution on delegates. As brain drain on delegates, this problem is also faced in the nation of Kuwait, and improving the quality of education within the nations would reduce this problem delegates. Like improving education, we must
Because at the end of the day, we know the problems, we know there are problems, we don't need to know there are problems because we already know them. We need solutions. If there are no good solutions coming up, it's quite embarrassing actually because even in the PEs, the standard of the resolutions we had were quite low. We don't want to go to SEC, give this to SEC, and then they just look at us like, what are these are we don't want that kind of thing. So discuss solutions, come up with something new and innovative, it's absolutely fine, okay? We're moving back into formal session. Are there any final speeches on this topic? Delegate of Malaysia to authorize. Grant delegate.
As the moderate caucus brought up by the delegate of Zimbabwe, as the Malaysian delegation, we would bring up solutions such as establishing training programs with reputable foreign universities and schools, and attracting international students to study in the nation of Malaysia. Whereas this brain, we could stop the action of brain drain.
Delegate of Ecuador to authorize you guys. Based on Delegate of Djibouti to authorize you guys.
Delegates are against his right to replies.
Delegate of Germany, Delegate of Argentina, and Delegate of Iraq are those right to replies. Iraq has a right to reply. Based on? Is there a definite fact? Okay, granted delegate.
The delegate of Malaysia did explain that within his speech, he is hoping to have training programs for universities so that he can attract foreign students within the nation and prevent brain death. However, delegates think of the students coming into the nation of Malaysia. Won't it be brain death for the nations from which the students are coming into the nation of Malaysia to study at it? And that the nation Iraq believes that such a statement should not be made.
Delegate points noted, however, there is not a tangible actual fact in it, but points noted. Delegate of Argentina, you right to reply. Are there any right to replies? Then all points denied. The time period for responding to caucus topic is now elapsed. Delegate, all points denied. The time period for responding to caucus topic is now elapsed. We will now be entertaining another moderate caucus topic by the delegate of the Central African Republic. This topic reads, discussing the increase of unemployment among the citizens of the country due to the jobs being taken away by other nationals. Delegate of the Central African Republic, please justify your topic.
Yes, we see a major problem, especially even in developed countries, that people of other nations are taking are basically taking their jobs away, and it's a big issue. And citizens of those countries are protesting in some nations that they are not provided the jobs and they are left unemployed. They cannot feed their families, and they get released to these problems.
Thank you, Delegate. Are there any seconds to this topic? Delegate India to opportunity rise? Are there any objections? Delegate of China? On what grounds?
Delegate of USA to opportunity rise? To the delegate of China? Delegate, Adina, that could not be considered as a point, first of all, because the table would like to clarify that is not what brain drain means.
Also, delegates, you need to understand that brain drain is not the sole reason for other people to migrate to another country. There are other several factors to consider as well, such as government benefit and other type of things. So brain drain is an aspect, admittedly, but it is not the only aspect, and it's not the only reason for this. Okay, any other objections?
Seeing none, this topic passes. Delegate of the Central African Republic, you have 15 seconds to explain this topic. Sorry, you have 45 seconds to explain.
Delegates of the House, seeing and delegates believes this major issue as delegates of people. As citizens of the country are not given priority, and it greatly hinders the development of the country as it gives a huge number of citizens unemployed. It also poses a lot of problems to the government as citizens are protesting as of now. So the delegate proposes a solution like make sure that the government prioritizes citizens, be given the opportunity to be love the job, and also as the delegate said, to improve the quality of education.
Thank you, Delegate. Point is noted. Delegate Bhavan to opportunity rise. State your point under the head table's discussion. Because we are under severe time constraints, but we have 45 seconds per speech, and we will see how many speeches on the floor, and we will decide how many speakers. Delegate Switzerland. Based on? Granted, Delegate.
And more jobs could be provided, but how does this hinder the development of the country?
Delegate, could you please highlight the factual error?
The delegate of the Central African Republic says that unemployment hinders development, but when foreigners are taking the jobs in the country, it does not. It does prevent the locals from getting jobs, but it does not hinder development.
Delegates, that is not a factual error. However, valid points noted. Guys in conversation, please do not abuse the right to reply. There is a reason why we have a statement. Right to replies are made on strict factual errors. If you have facts, if you have numbers, if you have percentages to prove it, to back it up, that is a fact, because it cannot be proved or disproved. Okay? Back into formal session.
Ladies, please recognize the presence of the head of the country.
All delegates who wanted a photograph, have you all given your names, and are there any delegates who still haven't given their names? Okay, Delegates, the papers will be passed around again, and please ensure that your page behind the repeats and write your name and country down. Right, thank you. And delegates, please note that the photographs will be available tomorrow as well, so you can bring money tomorrow and purchase it tomorrow. Thank you.
Delegate for Argentina. Right. Are there any other speeches on the floor? Delegate Somalia 12 minutes, right?
Permission to obtain the floor. The delegate of Somalia thinks that this is a real problem, and that is why we have come up with many solutions. Vocational education directly sending students into careers, extending careers that allow more job opportunities, specialized job opportunities so that all-rounding employees do not take the jobs to specialists, and employing methods that cater to people who cannot correctly express themselves to be employed.
Take your point. Guys, informal session. If you need to use the washroom or anything, or like if there are things that are like drinking water or that kind of things, please understand that we are severe time constraints. We do not have time to grant you permission to go to the toilet. If you have to go to the toilet, speak to an admin. They will take your name and you'll be in the register and yeah.
Come for any reason, that is.
We do not want the
For
day to be
water, for
interrupted.
anything, if you're feeling sick, anything, just like inform that.
Okay, back into formal session. Are there any speeches on the floor? Delegate Brunei to appoint you guys. Not the delegate.
The employers are giving the opportunity to foreign workers because of the lack of qualification and mismatches of skills in the workers in their country. So it is the responsibility of the governments to provide all the skills needed by young people to get a job.
Thank you, Delegate.
Wait, one second, informal session. As you all know, there is a slight problem with recognition. I understand that, and the table really apologizes about this. However, the delegates of China have actually come up with a good solution, but they didn't really know they did that. They're basically, okay, remember we had a brain drain moderated caucus topic. And we didn't get many solutions for that, quite honestly. But what the delegates of China did is that they sent us a chit with their solutions. And we were not going to recognize them, obviously, for the fact that we recognize them quite a bit anyways, and we're trying to give other people a chance as well. But because of the fact that they gave us solutions, I actually entered it into the point system, and we actually got points for this. So if you actually have any solutions that we're not able to recognize you for, you guys can actually send it to us, and we will actually enter it into the point system. Back into Dominican Republic. We're in formal session. You can just. No, only from this card now. Back in formal session. Are there any other speeches on the floor? Delegate of Eritrea, 12.0 guys. Can't be delegate.
The delegate of Eritrea feels that this is a great problem in the in today's world, and in many countries, jobs are provided to people from other nations, not for the locals. Mainly, the reason is lack of the skills of them, and the government should provide
the country with equal and quality education. So, thank you.
Thank you, David. Are there any more speeches for this topic? Delegate Macedonia? Right.
Delegate of Macedonia believes that the quality of education should be improved within a country which prepares students for job market. For this, there should be adequate preparation of students as professionals so that the students get a better qualified job in the country itself. Also, the government should implement policies to provide security of jobs to students.
Right, so delegate, thank you. The time period for this moderated caucus topic has now elapsed. We will now be moving to another moderated caucus topic proposed by the delegate of Iraq. This topic reads, addressing the need to provide low-cost internet connectivity, especially in third world nations, understanding the role the internet has to play in modern education. Read that again. Addressing the need to provide low-cost internet connectivity, especially in third world nations, understanding the role the internet has to play in modern education. Delegate of Iraq, you have 20 seconds to justify your topic.
Delegates in the House, now we know that within the education system today, most of us see that most of the research, most of the assessments that we do are based on using computers, using the internet, etc. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, is it not fair that even third world countries, even people within rural areas of third world nations get the same benefits that we do? And that is why
Delegate of the United Kingdom to authorize. Granted, delegate.
delegates to recognize that in this world, yes, thank you, Delegate of Iraq, providing internet access to third world countries is important, which is why within the United Kingdom we have aid schemes that provide lower cost internet connection to developed countries, to developing countries, and we would urge all developing countries to provide the same.
1 second, delegate.
Do you read it or Congress? This one. You may take a speech.
Delegate, you can do so when you have the floor. Otherwise, you should not pay the floor.
Otherwise, please proceed.
Delegate of Ecuador. Granted delegate.
Thank you, Your Honor. With regards to the topic at hand, the delegates, party must realize is first that with focus on rural areas and developing nations, party must focus is on that we should first bridge the digital divide between the urban areas and rural areas. So to provide low cost internet connectivity, what we must do is first create the background in rural areas so as those students too could ensure that they get this opportunity to access low cost internet connectivity. Thank you.
Thank you, delegates. Are there any more speeches for this topic?
Delegate Barnett, to what point did you rise? Delegate, would you write that be addressed in your speech? Are there any delegates wishing to obtain the floor? Delegate Barnett? Granted, delegate.
Wishing to thank the delegate of Iraq for bringing up this topic. Well, we see even in the nation, the delegate of Sri Lanka's nation, that this has been implemented through the project Google Loop. And we believe that it's costly though, and
Actually, what the delegation of our believes is that there should be an effective mechanism to make sure that this internet is provided on a large basis with a lower expense. This means that the internet can be specified only for educational purposes to make sure that this is inexpensive, as the modern education systems need modern technology, but we have to focus on expense. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. We have one last speech on this moderated caucus topic. Are there any speeches on the floor?
Delegate of Chile. Who are delegate?
In third world countries like Chile, which have a population of over 50 million people, there are many people living in poor rural areas. These students don't get the same level of education as students in developed countries do. This delegate's suggestion is that communication giants like Google and Facebook must partner with governments to provide cheap or free internet connections to third world countries by launching satellites which can broadcast into a wide area. Thank you.
The time for this moderated caucus topic has elapsed. We will now be taking another moderated caucus topic proposed by the delegate of China. This topic reads, discussing the need to strengthen cybersecurity education to address issues pertaining to the recruitment of young people by factors such as the ISIS, or just IS as a current. I'll read it out again. Discussing the need to strengthen cybersecurity education to address issues pertaining to the recruitment of young people by factions such as IS. Delegates of China, you have 20 seconds to justify your topic.
Now, with regards to cybersecurity education, when it comes to developing regions, we see certain rather the education system not comprising of cybersecurity education, and thus we see huge recruitment of people into factions such as ISIS and Boko Haram. And again, this has been a huge issue, and each nation needs to take stringent action. And we believe that this topic will be discussed so that
Thank you.
the global community.
Thank you. Delegate of Germany to operate your eyes. State your point.
China is granted 15 seconds to explain this topic very clearly so that all delegates can understand.
Firstly, delegates, we understand that as of now we have been using technology as well as the internet for educational purposes, but yet we understand there are certain effects in the internet which even the nation China recommend, and thus we see groups such as ISIS taking advantage of situations
to brainwash and do certain form of factors which eventually lead to the recruitment of young people, the youth delegates, into such factors. This is exactly a huge problem.
Thank you, any seconds to this topic? Delegate Italy to appoint rights. Are there any objections? Seeing none, this topic passes. Delegate of China, you may set your time limit as well as obtain the floor for your speech.
And the time under the discretion of the executive.
5 speeches, 45 seconds. You have to.
Delegates essentially when it comes to regions such as Africa and so on, we see the lack of understanding provided towards cybersecurity education, and thus Nation China likes to propose a very required solution.
Honorable delegate is simply the Tallinn manual. Now, this is an academic study by the NATO in order to which tells how exactly international law applies to cyber security and how this can be used as a base to provide cyber security education to such developing countries which are going on to such conflicts in order to ensure that their youth isn't damaged, they are not brainwashed, and by no means they are recruited in such hostile and volatile factions towards the ISIS. Thank you.
Thank you, delegates. Are there any more speeches?
Delegate of Syrian Arab Republic to appoint you as granted delegate.
Thank you, Delegate of China, for bringing this up. In Syria itself, this issue continues, and it's because Muslim scholars are allowed to interpret scriptures in favor of ISIS and post it on internet, and this has led to the recruitment of young people by ISIS. And therefore, the delegate suggests that such videos cannot be interpreted, and that online networks such as Google and other online web browsers ban such videos from being entertained in addition to their solution. Thank you.
Delegate of Argentina to appoint you as.
I have to make a statement on facts quoted by the legislature.
10 seconds.
Honorable House, this delegate question is how practical will it be to ban such videos from the internet, because internet is a very wide thing. So this delegate to solution to this problem is to give good propaganda or the propaganda in a good way through the education system to tackle the extremism ideas brought by ISIS.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate of Romania to appoint you as. In your speech, Delegate. Are there any speeches on the floor? Delegate of Bahrain, the Delegate of Tajikistan to appoint you as. Granted, Delegate.
Permission from the table, this delegation of Pakistan understanding this issue would like to encourage all governments demotivate all such propaganda made by such factions such as ISIS through the internet itself. And also the delegate mentioned within his speeches is about the dark time. Therefore, awareness to these parents and dialogue between these parents and civil societies about what their children are going through, and providing awareness to these parents about and encourage them as to how to conduct such cybersecurity programs to help us actually combat such extremist ideas, circulating within.
Thank you, delegates. Are there any more speeches for this?
Delegate of Sudan to appoint you as. Granted, Delegate.
So over here on this topic, the need to strengthen cybersecurity has been raised, and for this kind of issue, I would like to actually suggest one solution, and that is the surveillance of deep web. Now, most of you might not know what a deep web is, but it's actually something that most of us in our real life don't actually see. The browsers that we use, such as Google, it only extends to a very minimum part of the internet. what we actually don't see is something that happens underground. If you compare it to like the structure of an iceberg, the part that's under the sea. So the deep web is actually a place where most of all the international underground syndicate groups actually meet, where the identity is always changing. So you can't really track who. So these are actually placed in factions like ISIS. They gather and they exchange the information. So I would like to actually suggest the developed countries such as USA and China and Russia to actually form a pact where the surveillance of these.
Thank you. Thank you, Delegate. Delegate of Morocco to offer address. In the speech and Delegate Barry to offer address. Granted, Delegate.
The problem is, no, the deep web is called the deep web for a reason. Most people cannot access it. So, in the case of smart caucus, actually, young people affected by the deep web is a very low possibility. What happens in the deep web is actually between huge organizations. So, what the delegate Bharat believes is that what the delegate Bharat wants to ask is how young people can actually be affected by the deep web. In this case, it seems impractical.
Delegate of Sudan, you have 15 seconds to reply to that.
Like the topic has already said that the factions like ISIS, they post their statement in parts like where normal people cannot get their access. So since their influence, even if their influence is over a certain amount of people, if that is being if that is being under the surveillance of security organizations, at least that amount of small young people can actually be prevented from doing it.
The way of the United Kingdom. 10 seconds, Delegate.
Delegate's point of the deep web is that it cannot easily be accessed and therefore cannot easily be monitored. If the deep web is formed by rerouting it through many servers, and therefore it will not be easy, even for developed countries to provide surveillance for the deep web that easily.
Delegate of USA to operate your eyes. Granted, Delegate. 10 seconds.
Firstly, it's with the matter of people having access to the deep web. When we look at stress, it is in fact majority of young people who are in fact interested in hacking and computer studies with an increasing quaternary industry. The word modern has been complemented with the word technology, and modern students are in fact very, very in touch with technology. Therefore, they do have access to the deep web, and we should in fact take this into account when discussing.
How many of these are right replies? Okay, Delegate of Djibouti. Delegate, it was only for right reply. Delegate of Bahrain. One final right reply after this entire debate will be terminated.
Honorable the misconception which is faced is even though there are people who can hack into systems, this does not mean that they can hack into the deep web. When we analyze the deep web, it is not just an ordinary site or an ordinary web. It is actually one of the most advanced mechanisms in the world. What the delegate of Bharat was trying to state throughout this situation was that it is there's such a minority that discussing the deep web in this forum is actually kind of unnecessary as it is only a minority.
Delegates, please be seated. All motions denied. Okay, for the benefit of the House, guys, the deep web, anybody with access to Google, anybody with access to internet can access the deep web, and it isn't very hard to access. It's the fact that the deep web is hard to monitor because of the rerouters, and therefore, delegates, please make sure that when you all do speak, you all do actually have proper knowledge about the subject. With that being said, delegates, the head table will not encourage further debates on the impact because of the mandate of the committee, and with that being said, they're moving back into session.
Delegates, also please note that when you send solutions and not promises, please stick to clear handwriting or they will not be considered if they are not readable.
We will now be, delegate, if you're up to open to us. Granted, delegate.
Delegates of this esteem understood the need to strengthen cybersecurity, and Iraq had blocked access to Twitter and Facebook at certain amount of time when certain recruitment rates were high. However, in the future, Iraq proposes that we encourage all able and willing nations to report violent videos, etc., posted by religious extremists such as ISIS, and educate all students, mainly in the rural areas, because these are the students that are really
Thank you, delegate. Points, sir.
yeah.
Delegate of Germany. 10 seconds, delegate.
One solution is to create awareness programs within the curriculum and include practical content to educate the children of the ill doings of the certain factions, thereby discouraging them to even
Delegate of Romania, what point you raise? Ten seconds, delegate. Delegate of China. Apologies, delegate.
Now, delegates, we must understand that to prevent the proliferation of radicalist ideologies or subjective information throughout the social media, we also have to promote the censorship of ideologies that actually evoke civil unrest, as well as the promotion of online filtering mechanisms which will in turn actually combat this. And through the process of mutual assistance regimes, we are also able to ensure that the developed nations such as USA are able to provide such regulatory mechanisms or devices that can actually have the ability and the aptitude to scan people in combating such issues.
Points, noted, delegate. Thank you.
Delegate.
Delegate, point to raise. Have we now moved into another?
Delegates will be moving into the discussion of an unmoderated corpus. Read.
Discussing and reviewing possible schemes that will make tuition fees more affordable. This is proposed by the delegation of USA.
Delegates, please be aware that this is a more solution-based topic, and we request all delegates to provide better solutions and debate on solutions. With that being said, Delegate of USA, 15 seconds to explain the topic.
Now, delegates, funding is one of the most prioritized issues that we should be discussing today, primarily because there are so many students out there who have the ability to pursue a good quality education, but however cannot afford to do so. Therefore, we urge the House to come up with feasible solutions to make tuition fees more affordable, rather than considering that a few countries can't completely make it free.
Delegate of Germany is what point you raise? State your point. Delegates of USA, please specify which sector, or is it all sectors?
It's all sectors. In the US, tuition fees include any type of educational fees.
Unscripted delegates. Are there any seconds for this? Delegate of China, what point you raise? State your point, delegate. State your point.
Firstly, ma'am, regarding the making of tuition fees more affordable, we see the UNESCO itself has taken initiatives with regards to infrastructure. But the funding there has been a problem, and the nation of China has asked the USA, but the USA is willing to fund the investment with regards to this.
Delegates of USA, they have 10 seconds to reply to that, after which we will move on to seconds and objections.
Thank you for the question, Delegate. While proposing this moderated caucus, what we essentially meant was reviewing schemes where countries, with the aid of developed nations, if they're a developing nation, could make tuition fees more affordable for their students, but with careful consideration, we could consider funding UNESCO, but it's not something we can exchange on.
Are there any seconds to this topic? Delegate Guinea to operate your right. Are there any objections? Seeing none, this topic passes. Delegates of Croatia to operate your right. The Walker you right, delegate. Point to parliamentary inquiry.
Delegate, there will not be any points of information that will be entertained to delegates during mock caucuses.
But just a note, if you have to ask them whether it's a point of parliamentary inquiry, it's not a point of information. Just
Deny delegate, that will not be addressed right now. We'll say 45 seconds to make statement.
Now, delegates, the two main solutions the United States of America has to give to you today. Firstly, being transparency. Schemes that will make parents more aware of the affordability of tuition fees. So, for this, we have programs such as College Scorecard or Know Before You Owe, which essentially tells students how much tuition fees will be and make them consider whether they can actually afford funding their children throughout their educational process. A second one being partially paying for merit-based scholarships, where the US pays for 2 years of college tuition. And this is based purely on merit, might I add, where we recognize hardworking students who we see potential and pay for a portion of their tuition fees.
Thank you, Delegate. Are there any other speeches on this topic? Delegate of Zimbabwe to operate your right. Granted, delegate.
One of the solutions would be by making the tuition teachers more easily interactive with the students rather than reducing the fees. One of the solutions is to make the students more interactive with the teacher. This could be done by making the tuition fees less and asking the students to get their resources.
Like my partner said, this could be very beneficial because transport fees, fuel consumption, this could all be countered by this problem. Also, with technology, there can be self-learning courses that you don't need to be.
Thank you, delegates. Are there any other speeches? Delegate of Morocco to operate US. Delegate.
Honorable delegates, one possible solution the delegate of Morocco would like to put forward is getting funds from the EU. Honorable delegate, the government of Morocco actually got funds from the EU and provided scholarships to the students of Morocco and furthermore, those scholarships could be paid back by the students by working part-time in the university as a solution. Honorable delegates.
Delegate of Ecuador to operate US. Granted, delegate. State the question.
The delegate of USA, when regarding the fact on the funds placed on your education scheme, it has been regarded that $40 million US per year has been enacted on the No Child Left Behind scheme instead of putting it straightaway directly into the classroom. What does the delegate have?
Delegate of USA may answer this question.
Well, Honorable Delegate, firstly, with regard to Tosha left behind that, it has in fact been reformed in 2015 by the K-12 reforms and replaced by the Race to the Top program. Why we in fact put it into these programs is because we ensure proper distribution of these funds and accountability with our systems. Therefore, that's why instead of putting it directly into classrooms and directly into schools, we in fact put it into the fund which then distributes the vision.
Thank you, Delegate. Are there any other speeches on this topic? Delegate Highland to authorize your rights. Highland, pardon. Granted, Delegate.
One solution for this can be to introduce part-time jobs and create more job opportunities for most of the nations, because these job opportunities and part-time jobs are mainly for European countries, Asian countries, rarely get the students in Asian countries rarely get the chance. So because of that, we introduce in all the countries. So this makes children earn and therefore make tuition fees more affordable, so that all can gain a high education, improve chances in job market also.
Excellent, Delegate. Thank you. Are there any other speeches on this topic? Delegate Algeria to authorize your rights. Granted, Delegate.
Now, delegates, what we must consider when allocating scholarships towards making tuition fees more affordable is that whether or not we should allocate them more towards need-based or merit-based schemes. And this delegate would like to suggest actually allocating more towards need-based schemes, because most educational institutions have certain criteria on which they accept students, and thus merit is more or less covered in that. In order to make things more affordable, we should move towards more need-based.
Are there any other speeches on this topic? Delegate Georgia to authorize your rights. Apologies. Just a note, informal session. Just a reminder for those of you in double delegations, please try to share your speaking time with your partner. I think it's very important that all of you do that, because at the end of the day, when it comes to picking awards and those kind of things, we actually take into consideration how much you share the time. Because if it's just one person speaking the whole time, then it's not fair that both of you get the award, which is why it's really important that you guys share the speaking time. Just a note. Yeah, apologies.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we recommend is using online conferencing to set up, to broadcast the lectures and basically the entire lecture class online, so that the students can access the class at any time of the day. And the thing is, another issue is the use of they request funds from IMF and British Bank to improve their education systems, thereby reducing tuition fees. We also recommend using Google Classroom, such an online base for use of to conduct class online.
Thanks, Delegate. Are there any Delegate Marshall, what would you write? State the question.
The question is, delegates of USA, it is understood with factual evidence to prove that in the tertiary sector of education in USA, the debt has reached over $1 trillion US by the year of 2008. Understanding that, and the figures are still rising. The price of education is extremely high cost to pay to the students. Why do you think this is the case in your country?
Delegates of USA, would you be willing to answer this question?
Thank you for that important question, considering we're finding a solution for it right now. In the past, there is an acknowledgement that tuition fees has been incredibly high, which is why we propose this moderated caucus, and which is why we are reforming our own education system to make tuition fees more affordable. So if you have a suggestion to curb the problem you just mentioned, please make a suggestion. Thank you.
Delegate of Djibouti to appoint to us. Are there any final speeches on this topic? Delegate of the United Kingdom to appoint to us. Granted, delegate.
The delegates of the United Kingdom believe that it is important to find possible schemes to make tuition fees more affordable, and the delegates of the UK suggest that the students should be able to apply for student loans, through which they can pay back after their course or during the course, and they should also be able to apply for maintenance loans, especially for low-income families, so that they can afford to send to education institutions.
Delegates down to appoint to us. State your point.
What points can I raise in order to say something to what she said? Delegate, please.
Delegate granted severe time constraints. Delegate of China, would it be possible for you to reply to that in chip form? Is that okay? Delegate of Nigeria to appoint to us. State your point.
Can the delegate of Nigeria have a 10-second statement regarding a probable solution to this focus topic?
1 second, delegate. Delegates, if you could you please remain standing for a second? Delegates, the head table has a point of information for you. Delegates, noting that in the nation of the United Kingdom, student loans have been actually
Can you
a
just
viable
look at
solution.
it?
However, to this
If
day, there are
it
people
comes
still
out,
repaying
just
their
put it on
student
here.
loans. How successful does the delegate find this as there will never be an instance, especially where someone is actually able to earn more than they pay actually for their final education.
Thank you. Maybe to recognize that paying a student loan is a problem which requires all the institutions such as bursaries and scholarships for students based on their academic progress if they cannot afford the actual university.
Delegate, just to follow up, delegate noting that most British universities do not in fact offer scholarships neither to international students or to even local domestic students. How exactly the delegates of the United Kingdom see the progress in fact of tertiary education in the domestic nation?
Well, actually, government-controlled banks, they give the students maintenance grants and student grants. So these, they don't have to pay it back, so it's actually a viable solution.
Delegate China to appoint you guys. Granted, delegate. Quite sorry, delegate, thank you. Delegate of Switzerland to appoint you guys. State your point.
Free to online use.
Okay, last speech. All points denied after that.
Through online classes, teachers can post videos on YouTube or live conferences, and they can get paid through the YouTube partnership program by how many views they get. And this will encourage teachers to make their lessons more interesting and educational, so more students will subscribe and watch their videos, thus increasing their salary on how well they educate the children.
Points noted, delegate. Thank you. or was denied informal session. See, this is exactly what we're trying to get out of you. Creative, innovative ideas for those of you who are at the youth level. See, YouTube is something we can all relate to because as youngsters, this is exactly what we do. When I don't understand something in economics, I go on YouTube and I try to get these online tutorials. There are times, however, where you have to pay for the full tutorial and that kind of thing. See, what you need to remember is you need to come up with something very creative as well as something very innovative. So yeah, that was good solutions. Also, once again, if you have any other solutions similar to this, you can you can send it to the table. Thank you. Um, Delegates, we will be moving into another moderated caucus topic proposed by the delegate of Iran. This topic reads, discussing the rights of persons with disabilities in the education system to meet the demands of the modern job market. I'll read it again. Discussing the rights of persons with disabilities in the education system to meet the demands of the modern job market. Delegate of Romania. Delegate justify.
විරාම හැම කෙනෙකුටම ඉගෙන ගන්න අයිතිවාසිකමක් තියෙනවා. ඒකකොට එතනදී ආබාධිතයන් නොවන අය කියන ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඕනම කෙනෙක් ඉගෙන ගන්න අයිතිවාසිකමක් තියෙනවා. නමුත් ආබාධිතයන්ට අපි වැඩිපුර අවධානයක් දෙන්න ඕන. මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝගේ විවිධ අංශයන් තියෙන පුරාම ඒගොල්ලෝ මේ දක්ෂතාව පෙන්වන නිසා ඒගොල්ලන්ට ජොබ් වෙන අවස්ථාවක් දෙන්න ඕන. මේ ඒගොල්ලෝගේ අවශ්‍යතාවයන් සඳහා තියෙන ඒ දේවල් පෙන්වන්න කරන්නේ. ඒ වගේම මම හිතන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට අවශ්‍ය දේවල් ඒ කියන්නේ සැලසුම් හදලා දෙන්න ඕනේ දෙමින් පවතිනවා මේ ආබාධිතයන් සඳහා සහ විශේෂ අවශ්‍යතාවය දරුවන් සඳහා රැකියාව ලැබෙන අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙන්න.
Thank you, Delegate. Just down to open your eyes. State your point. Yes.
This is going to the House that you will not translate that. Earlier, Iran wanted to state that everyone has a right to education regardless of disabilities, whether they're disabled or not, and that they also have the potential to enter the job market to showcase their skills, and that governments must take steps to implement this as the government of Iran has already done, and that is the overall translation of what the Iran had used.
Are there any seconds to this topic? Delegate of Bangladesh to open your eyes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, this topic passes. Okay. Informal session. We have to break into lunch now, so when we come back, we will be discussing this topic, this exact very topic. Are there any questions? Is everyone clear with what's happening right now? Anyone unclear? Does anyone have any issues or problems with what's been happening? Yeah. If you give it up after, you come back. Are there any procedural comments? I can't hear you. Yes, of course you can.
The head is open for solutions, and delegates, please note that both doors at the back will be open. Delegates from this side can exit through that door, and y'all will be given your lunch coupons by the admins near the doors. Please collect the coupons there, and delegates from this side can go use this door, and the admins will be given your lunch coupons there. Delegates, we will start session at 12:45 and make sure that all of y'all are present in committee by 12:45. Thank you.
Delegates, once you leave the room with the lunch program, she's going to continue until after lunch.
Delegate, we will give you a genuine feedback when we come back and start session. We really need to stick to our agenda today and we need to break lunch. Delegate, y'all can leave.
Also, just a reminder, those who want to purchase magazines, these rupees, I think is available at the head table, limited around here.
Guys, just a note about singing, there is points for it also. Anyways, it reaches the head table, just wants to see your solutions. That is all. That is why we want to see. We want to see, we want to get your ideas. Don't just send anything just for point. There is no guarantee you will get points if you have a procedure for that yet. Decide that.
Oh my god! I don't know. It's not okay. Okay, everything's sitting on it. The past can you remind? Can you remind me? No, no, you don't have to.
No, yes, you do. No, yes, you do. No. No, come, say, go in front of the camera. And see what? Just go in front of the camera so you can see yourself. No, no, no. Keep going. Oh, see? You see? Move it. Look, there you go. Ah, cameras.
Microphones.
So how are they supposed to? They don't. Which is why I chose to set in that way. The camera can always see me.
That's a live feed, right? You know, it's live feeding, right? Don't go ahead, right? Stop broadcast. Huh? Stop broadcast. That's okay. Yeah, I'm doing this. Hello.
Hello, guys. Start with, we are finishing. Yeah, good. No, tomorrow was the unfamous. Tomorrow is after.
Can you not go?
Can you not
go? Look at camera this and show them your beautiful face. Oh, Sanjay is going to play guitar.
Either way, it was Sanjan. Sanjan, not Sanjan. Present.
Specific one. At times I might be better, at times it depends on you. Yeah, so there's all music is a good for like soothing it. Hey, you suggest to wait, but tell the people just what can you do? You are taking on this. That's why your thoughts in mind are transferred to your team. Yeah, that's why I suggested. But probably when you wake up, you should last teacher. Your mother might keep up.
I have table fan, like the ceiling fan, so AC.
Kevin, right? Kevin, right? Kevin. You're back. You're sitting on the PS2. It's called
I came in gadget. And gadget. It's up webcam. Yeah, it's right here. We didn't. At one point, the camera was turned down. Yeah, it was facing down. Yeah, I should move right there. Look at the computer. Yeah, he doesn't judge me. Yeah. He doesn't judge me openly. Yeah, George. No, they put that. We have Singapore fights. Now it's gateway. From USA. It did escalate quickly though. 2 minutes ago. I am looking. Yeah. I like purple. You don't work, sir.
Your hair is horrible. I accept you.
Oh, where's the camera?
Oh, yeah. It's being live streamed online. Meaning whoever's watching it outside can see you. There are parents outside. You'll be watching online. It's on TV too. It's on TV too.
Oh my god.
Delegates, kindly take your seats. Is Delegate of Canada here? Delegate of Canada, please approach the table.
Who's this?
That is you.
Yeah.
See you and
Hear me? Oh, yeah. I understand it.
Ja, bitte, bitte, ganz leise.
Yeah, why do you want your face on that?
Isn't this live streaming?
This was audio.
Oh, it is.
Why is your camera
Where is she anyway?
That's the point.
Where does
Guys, okay. We're supposed to have a community shower. I think you already had one outside, but then we're going to do it again. And guys, get up and all come here. And it's basically supposed to be which committee has the best shout out. And it's kind of easy for us to win because we have the most amount of people. And okay, okay, guys, let's do it this way.
Move on together, otherwise.
Okay, anyone has ideas? No, we're supposed to be creative on how to do this. Fast, guys, we need to finish this fast. Okay, guys. Okay, basically this is the plan, right? We're gonna spread out the data, so like you'll come from here to here, and the camera just ends around, and we'll split up in groups. So one part says you, Ness, go. It goes on like that, right? That's yeah, I know. And then at the end, y'all can maybe stay together. But then yeah, any other better ideas? Come on. Yeah, but any other ideas? UNES. Okay. Okay, guys. Let's put up here. It's UNESCO. All right, and then after that, everybody goes UNESCO. Okay. Okay, guys, hurry up. Come here, come here. Who's the loudest voice here? Let's go. No, it just goes UNESCO. Okay, we don't have time to give me a U and U.
Just take picture.